Mr. Speaker, consulting Elections Canada on changes should have been step one if this government were actually serious. We know there were no consultations. A spokesperson for Elections Canada says the Chief Electoral Officer was not consulted on the bill. Now, the Minister for Democratic Reform says he's proposing a major overhaul to Elections Canada. These will affect every Canadian, Mr. Speaker. So can the Minister tell us why he failed to speak to the country's top elections expert, the Chief Electoral Officer, or explain how he thinks he consulted with that person?
Honourable Minister of State.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member's question is false. I did meet with the CEO of Elections Canada some time ago, and we had a terrific and a very long meeting, at which I listened carefully to all of his ideas. The Fair Elections Act will keep everyday citizens in charge of democracy by putting special interests on the sidelines and rule breakers out of the game altogether. It will give law enforcement sharper teeth, a longer reach, and a freer hand. And it will crack down on, it will close loopholes to big money in politics.
The honourable member for Toronto-Danforth.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister knows that by delaying this bill as long as he's is deliberately reducing the likelihood of any changes being allowed to it. Now, Mr. Speaker, remember when in 2008 this Minister claimed that Elections Canada singled out the Conservative Party for that party's in-and-out election expenses scandal. He also claimed Elections Canada invited opposition parties to a raid on the Conservative headquarters. And now we should trust him to reshape Elections Canada. Mr. Speaker, does the Minister still believe that Elections Canada targeted the poor Conservative Party?
Honourable Minister of State.
Mr. Speaker, the Fair Elections Act will keep everyday Canadians in charge of democracy by putting special interests on the sidelines and pushing rule breakers out of the game altogether. It will close loopholes to big money, and it will give law enforcement a sharper teeth, longer reach, and a freer hand. Thank you.